There's something you need to know about Live2D. 360 rotation. Live2D has a lot of tricks when it comes to making an illusion of 3D movement. Here's one that is powerful and has a lot of potential. And it's also an answer for this comment right here. 360-degree rotation trick takes advantage of these features. Apply deformer to child element, extended interpolation, and the way deformers interact with each other when parented. It's a bit technical, so I'll make it quick. Here's the thing you need to know about these features, simplified. When you have a deformer that has movements parented to another one, that movement will be influenced by the shape of the parent deformer. Here's how it looks in practice. Notice how the movement follows the shape of the dots. That's the influence that I'm talking about. If you go to the modeling tab to the deformer drop down and click this option, it will pass the movement of the parent deformer into anything below it, be it another deformer or the art mesh itself. This time, if you go to the drop down setting on the right and click this one, the software will make what is called in between frames based on the poses you make on your keyforms in order to smooth them out. Now, what does all of that explanation have to do with 360-degree rotation? The way that you do this technique is first have your art mesh be a flat circle like this and put it into a warp deformer. Then put them into a rotation deformer and key the movement like this. Next, pass the movement from the rotation deformer to the warp deformer below it. The original name of this feature is a bit of a mouthful, so I just like to call it movement pass. If it worked, you should have your warp deformer keyed and a movement that look like this. After that, smooth this crazy movement with extended interpolation, and now you have a nice rotation movement on a warp deformer. Now here comes the illusion. Remember the parent deformer? This one? Now key that one into another parameter and start deforming. The child deformer, the one below it, will follow that shape, and that's how you get the illusion of this thing moving in a 3D space. The reason why we need to pass the movement from the rotation deformer to a warp is because of the locking property that it has. Remember that? I talk about it in the deformer video if you want to know more. This is one of many workarounds of that property. TLDR, this would be 10 times harder to do without movement passing. Now, the only thing left to do is to make it loop. You can use idle animation or manipulate the physics pendulum. Yes, you can actually make the pendulum system move in a loop in this software. Isn't it just wild? I don't think I can fit the explanation of that in this video, so here's a very to the point tutorial by N on that technique. And if you want a crazier technique with something called deformer unrolling, here's another tutorial from Sumireno. This uses the same principle, combining it with a niche of Live2D rigging often called Live3D, which I definitely cannot fit into this video. Brother, that thing looks like rocket science to me. Sorry if this is a bit longer and more technical than the previous ones I covered. I tried keeping the explanations brief to the best of my ability, but for this topic, since there are multiple features working with each other, that means way more information needed to make sense of it all. Hopefully it's not too overwhelming. And if you have any other questions regarding Live2D, don't be shy, just ask. And that's why